Anchors up, sails at full. Welcome to the Sloopcast. How are you doing today, Kyle?
Doing all right, Jared. Doing pretty well. How are you doing?
You know, I'm not doing too bad. Ohio State defeats Rutgers. So that's a thing. It's a thing that happened.
It's a good thing.
It is a good thing. Was it a great thing? I mean, you know, the best thing about going 9-0 is the chance to go 10-0 and all that. That's all great. Was it a pretty game? Not necessarily.
Ohio State got the cover. They covered the spread.
Yeah, did a little bit of last second scoring to make that score look a little bit better than it was. If we're honest,
You do what you need to do, though.
You do what you need to do. Sometimes you just got to win the game. Sometimes you just got to win the game. And we said it. To our credit, Kyle and I said it. We said it on Thursday. Rutgers has a really good pass defense. Don't be surprised if Kyle McCord and the passing offense doesn't look great because Rutgers has a really good pass defense. Don't be surprised if it's it's not super pretty in the pass game. And then guess what? It wasn't super pretty in the pass game, but was everyone else being like, oh, but it's Rutgers? Yeah, they were. Does anyone ever listen to Kyle and I? No, they don't. We warned you.
We'll keep doing what we keep doing what we do.
We warned you that the passing game was not going to look good this game. And by the way, it's the third week in a row we've done that. This is the third week in a row in which we've played a pretty good pass defense. Everyone was like super low on McCord, then everyone was getting super high on McCord, now everyone's super low on McCord again. Gee, I wonder why. I wonder if it has anything to do with the fact that they played three of the best pass defenses in college football. I'm not saying Rutgers is a fantastic football team. They clearly aren't. They are totally one-dimensional on offense, and Ohio State was able to run on them with really good efficiency.
Yeah. But Trevion 5.8 yards per carry there. That's a pretty good game. That's a pretty good game there. Always great to see Trevion back to his old self. And I know there's a lot of people last year and even the beginning of this year. Oh, is Trevion running back number one? Is he really the best running back? Yes, guys. Yeah. Yes, he is.
Yeah. With all due respect to everyone else on the team, yeah. And everyone was super down on Henderson and like, oh, it's like, guys, he was injured last year. Like, even when he was healthy last year, he was injured last year. Like, he lost all of his lateral quickness because he had, I believe it was a plantar fasciitis, I think he had. And then everyone was like, oh, I don't know about Henderson. Like, y'all have the memory of a goldfish sometimes, I swear to God. But yeah, the Ohio State offense didn't look good in this game, and not the passing offense anyway. Henderson looked good. Henderson was the one bright spot on the offense, if we're being honest. Although I will say this, I thought the offensive line, at the very least from a running perspective, looked pretty good in this game. Like, I feel like we had seen some improvements over the past couple weeks, but it was also kind of hard to tell because both Penn State and Wisconsin have really good front sevens. And not that they looked great in those games because they didn't, but I had seen them play just as bad against bad competition. And like the fact that they didn't get totally owned by the Penn State and Wisconsin offensive lines gave me a bit of hope that they might actually look pretty good when going against. And Rutgers has a really good secondary, but I think they have a good linebacker too, but like they not anything impressive on the defensive line. And not all their linebackers are all that great. So I was like, let's see what the offensive line does against Rutgers. And I tell you what, they looked pretty good. Now, did they look pretty good based off of the average standards that I have that I have expectation for this offensive line at this point? Yeah. But they still looked pretty good. They opened up some really good holes for Henderson to run through. They didn't do that consistently.
No, they didn't. But I mean, it's got to be said though. Rutgers was without their starting nose tackle as well.
100%, 100%.
Before the game started, it was, I think, a few of us in our Discord, by the way, discord.thisloopcast.com, always be plugging. We said you got to give the ball to Trevion. Got to give the ball to Trevion here. This was the type of game we thought that Ohio State would try to dominate their will on the ground there, and at times they did. At times they did, and at other times, especially in that first half, no, they didn't. That first half was, there was a lot of issues, a lot of concerns, especially on third downs. I think they went
50%. In the game, they went 50%.
So if I compare the first half, Ohio State in the first half went 0 for 5 on third downs.
There you go. Now second half, the second half was good enough that they, brought the third down percentage all the way up to 50%.
Yeah. Second half, 6 for 7 on third downs.
Yeah, they really just started feeding Henderson a lot. And yeah, I mean, it wasn't a good game through the air.
No, and that's was by that's what Rutgers was going to do. And you saw that they were just double covering Harrison, which why he only had 4 catches. Sometimes triple. That's why he only had 4 catches for 25 yards and a pair of touchdowns there. But I was really surprised that there wasn't really a lot more that was going to happen there. Yeah, Trevion got himself a good game too, led the team in receptions and yardage, 5 catches, 80 yards. But I thought I would see a little bit more. Through the air. Yeah, I thought I would see a little bit more from everybody else who's not Marvin Harrison Jr. here. Emeka still didn't look like 100%. I mean, there was times he looked pretty good, but he's still not 100%. Finally got to see quite a bit of G. Scott made that great touchdown catch.
No Cade Stover in the first game.
No Cade Stover.
He makes a great catch to get a touchdown, but he also dropped the entire makeup of the first half is different if he catches that ball and he didn't. I don't know if he's getting the touchdown on that play, but it was a crucial third down, and we would have converted, and he definitely had some room to run. It was a crucial drop on his part. And I know I feel like people are back on the "we hate McCord" train. But I'm telling you what, he's not getting a ton of help. The offensive line didn't do terribly in this game. But he still had some undue pressure on him at times. He checked the ball down to Henderson a lot in this game. He was very check down heavy in this game. Rutgers seemed very happy to just sort of play a shell and to, let their secondary play. And, like I said, Rutgers has a really good secondary. There's some very talented guys in that secondary. This is not your grandpa's Rutgers. And we said this on Thursday. This is the best Rutgers team that Ohio State has ever played, and I don't think it's actually all that close. It is much improved Rutgers team from even last year. And the Rutgers team they played last year, much better than the Rutgers team from the year before. Shiano is legitimately improving this team. This is just their third loss on the year. One of their other losses was to Michigan in a similar football game. Was the other one, have they played Penn State yet? Was the third one Penn State, Kyle? Or did they? No, it was.
No. Yeah, no.
Iowa, right? No. They play Iowa this upcoming week.
No, they lost to Wisconsin.
Wisconsin, that's who it was. So, yeah, I mean, respectable loss, Wisconsin. Don't look at what happened to Wisconsin this weekend. But, yeah, it's not a great showing for Ohio State in this game. But again, this is not your grandpa's Rutgers. This is a very good Rutgers team. It is what it is. And, Ohio State does win. They cover even. You win by 19 points. The final score tells a different story than I think the game. It absolutely tells a different story than the game. I mean, it has to be said, Ohio State was losing at halftime.
Yeah, they were. But credit to only being down 2 at halftime. The defense in the red zone was the difference maker in this game here.
Well, that's the 16 points is a lot of points for this defense this season.
Yeah, I mean, they were only averaging 10 a game here, and with a Rutgers offense that we were not worried about this Rutgers offense at all.
Well, I mean, I'm saying that the defense or the offense and the special teams, Mirko, put on, and then there was a turn, and there was an intercept. Like the defense was put with their back up against the wall a bunch, especially in the first half. And because of the offensive struggles, the defense was Rutgers killed time of possession in this game. 35 minutes to 24 minutes. I'm obviously rounding a little bit there, but
well, that's because they rushed the ball 43 times, and when they're getting over 5 yards a pop, that time of possession is. I'm honestly surprised it's not more than that.
Well, it's helping that Ohio State was also rushing the ball. Do you have time of possession just for the first half, Kyle?
I do. I'd be
interested to see if it's a similar
first half time of possession. 16.5 for Rutgers, 13.5 for Ohio State. Second half,
so it's even worse.
Rutgers pretty much doubled.
Yeah,
19.25, and Ohio State had 10.75 minutes in the second half.
Yeah, offense was not doing the defense a ton of favors, time of possession wise, and the defense, you could tell, was getting a bit gassed. Rutgers was running the ball incredibly well against Ohio State. We told you they have a good running back. Yeah, too well. We told you they had a great running back. We told you that their quarterback was a great runner. Both of those things, turned out to be incredibly true. But it needs to be said, Rutgers wins time of possession by 10 minutes, nearly 10 minutes. Well, no, over 10 minutes. Rutgers gets 7 more first downs. Although they get 4 of those via penalty, and some of those were bad.
Probably the biggest stat here, Jarrett. The biggest stat
Ohio State does win third down conversion, getting 2 additional conversions off of 1 less try. And Rutgers over 33 yards more, 33 additional yards over Ohio State. Rutgers played a hell of a football game.
Mm-hmm. They did, yeah. And seeing that Rutgers had more yardage there, it's definitely showed the offensive struggle Ohio State had here. Now, we'll see these next 2 games here. I expect Ohio State to be able to do a lot better offensively in these next 2 weeks here, leading up to the final battle up north. But the key stat here, Jared, that we talked about for 8 weeks here, Ohio State finally gave up a 40-plus yard play in this game.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's that fumble Ruski to Manangai, running it down the middle for 45 yards on a 4th and 1.
That was a great play call. I'm not even mad.
It was. I mean, Shiano had to pull out the tricks there, and you know what? Kudos to him compared to Franklin when Franklin had nothing. Like, Rutgers pulled out a lot of tricks here. They did what they needed to do to make it close. It's just Ohio State made more plays down the end there, and that pick 6 was the game changer. That's what changed the flow of the game there from Hancock.
I mean, you got to credit Proctor on that play as well.
Yes, I mean, yeah, the play doesn't happen if it's not for Proctor, but I mean, Hancock finds the path to get him going. What is that, 96 yards or whatever it was?
I think it was quite that much, was it? But it was long. Yeah. Again, like, it's not the prettiest game, but you win in advance. I never at any point in this game felt like Ohio State was going to lose. I've not felt honest fear that Ohio State is going to lose at any point this season. Have you, Kyle?
No, I haven't. I mean, there was definitely some worrisome in the
Spikes.
In the Notre Dame game, but
I never even felt like not even during Notre Dame, not even during Penn State, that I even consider we were going to lose.
Yeah.
I don't know, like, it's, again, it hasn't always been pretty this year, but it is nice to be a game into November and having never at any point felt like we were going to lose.
Yeah, we've been spoiled these past number of years with the spectacular quarterback play that we've had and the talent offensively here. It's just a totally different view, different team that we're not accustomed to seeing. Now, a lot of us who've watched Ohio State, especially in the early Tressel days here, this kind of brings back some memories here where they don't score a lot of points, especially when it came into Big Ten play. But you know what? Defense stands up and wins the games and ultimately wins championships.
We would have never complained about a 35-16 win in the Tressel era.
Yeah, that's a wow.
It's
look at
not
this
even
offense. Look at this offense.
It's not even Tressel ball. Are you kidding? We'd be a 35-16 win over here smoking cigars live on the show. Are you kidding? Yeah, that's a blowout. Exactly. Offense. That's a Tressel. This is a Tressel era blowout.
Scoring 35 points. Yeah.
Except that one year. The 1 year being the difference, the Troy Smith senior campaign. We actually blew some teams out that year. But aside from that year, that's just how Tressel played ball.
They scored 30. Am I looking at I'm looking at the wrong year. I was curious about what was the closest game here? In 2002,
Spikes, is that a confirmed stat, or are you kidding? Kidding? Oh, okay. My mind was going to be blown if that was actually true.
No, they scored 34 points against Minnesota in the first weekend.
Yeah. All right. Kyle,
yep,
are we ready to hand out our grades?
Let's get out the grades here. So let us start off with the coaching staff here. Defense played very well, despite letting up 232 on the ground. It's hard for me to say that, but I think overall I thought the defense played pretty well. Offense struggled first half, but got but came around in the second half and did what they need to do. So I'd say maybe B minus. I'll just stick with a B. It's heavily carried by the defense here. Really, really like what I see for the defense. Now, the injuries are starting to stack up here. Definitely a little concerning here, but this is a championship caliber defense here.
Yeah. Hopefully they get some guys back, especially in the secondary. That being said, I thought everyone, even after Proctor left, I thought everyone played well still. So, shout out to the young dudes who came into the game and played well. C- if you let special teams coaching grade have any weight. Well, not especially, but I don't think it wasn't a coaching decision. If you're talking about the fake punt, I don't believe that was a coaching decision.
Yeah. All right. Quarterback here. I'll just give a C. I'll give a C here. Yeah, he has a interception in this game, but had 3 touchdowns in this game as well. 19 for 26. Good percentage throwing, but yeah, I'd like to see a little bit more from Kyle McCord. Everybody's expecting a little bit more, so I'll just say a C.
I don't know, man. He only misses 7 passes on the day. 2 of those were dropped. You can't see the graphic, just you. Yeah, it must be just you. I do have my camera on. The only 2 of them were drops. 7.3 average. He was forced to throw underneath a lot, which was, I think Rutgers' game plan. So I respect him for going into check down mode, because that's what was required. He really only tried to force it once and he got his hand slapped for it. I really don't feel like it was a bad McCord day. I honestly don't. I think he needs a little bit of help from people not named Marv or Trey.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I feel about it. I'm gonna go with a B.
All right. Running back here. Trey's a monster. He's a human highlight reel here. A for the running back here.
A for the running back. Yeah, I'll go with an A as well. I feel like someone warned us their secondary was good. Spikes, I already took that victory lap. I'm not going to do it again.
All right, offensive line.
Spikes, I appreciate it.
All right, offensive line here. So you let up 1 sack. I did look, of the 22 carries, 4 of those carries went for 0 or negative yards. So I thought the offensive line did I think, as you said before, Jared, okay. They did okay.
Yeah.
But it is definitely a lot better than what we've seen recently here. So I'll give them a little bump up. I'll give them a B. I'll give the offensive line a B here.
I always like to say that I grade based off of expectation, and like I've personally given up that the offensive line is going to be anything spectacular this year, but I do think that they're getting better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm gonna go B+. So I give them credit for getting better, but I think that we're paying for recruiting sins of the past couple years. Less penalties, right? Yeah, I mean, that's certainly a thing to work on. But hey, at least they're not the LSU center.
Let's see, penalties. 0 penalties. 0 penalties by the offense in this game. All 5 were from the defense.
Oh, is that? I thought there was like was there like a hands?
No, there was a pass interference from Proctor, pass interference from Styles, and offsides, personal foul, which was hands to the face by Mike Hall, and then there was the unsportsmanlike, which was I thought BS.
Terrible call on Tyleek.
Yeah. Yep.
I remembered the hands to the face being a guard, but I guess it was my call. My memory failing me on that one.
He was just trucking him.
That one was a good call. That one was a good call. The Tyleek call was a bad call, but my call did that shit.
What was the penalty on the? It was the quarterback going low on. I'm going to guess it was a corner.
Oh yeah,
and you can't do that. Like he dove low to the corner's knees, legs area, and you can't do that.
Yeah, you can't take out a blocker by going low on them. So it was obviously waved off.
All right. All right.
Tight ends. I'm gonna go C here.
That's what I was thinking.
The drop, especially if we're talking about like first half optics, the G. Scott drop was devastating.
I'll give a C plus just because of that great touchdown catch. So I'll say a C plus.
I'm going to be honest with you. G. Scott is also, there's like a lot left to be desired from a run blocking perspective as well. And that's also factoring into my grade.
Mm-hmm.
Is Gerd a walk-on? Yes. At least I don't know if he was given a scholarship, but I know he started as a walk-on. The touchdown was nice, though. It wasn't nice. No, it was definitely nice. It's just
according to the scholarship grid here, doesn't look like Gerd is.
Okay. I know he's a fifth-year senior. And if he was on scholarship, it would like he started as a walk-on at the very least. I'll say that.
Yeah. All right, wide receivers. I gotta give a C minus. I gotta give a C minus for the wide receivers here. This is supposed to be the best receiving core in the country here. Yeah, the Rutgers secondary is good, but you know what? These wide receivers are better. Like you gotta. It's tough looking at. You see Harrison only 4 catches. Emeka had 4 catches. Yes, Emeka wasn't all himself, but that's your production there. And then 2 from Tate. That's it there. Like, no, that's not the expectations here. So
your leading receiver was your running back. 5 receptions for 80 yards. Your next highest, your leading receiver, who's actually a wide receiver, Carnell Tate, 2 catches for 31 yards. Emeka Buka, by the way, 4 catches for 29 yards. Marvin Harrison, 4 catches for 25 yards. There's some Rutgers cornerbacks who earned themselves some draft spots in this game at the expense of the Ohio State wide receivers.
Mm-hmm. Which, by the way,
again, I grade based off of expectations. I expect the wide receivers to be great. They were not. I'm giving the wide receivers an F.
I'm giving them a higher than that F there, just because I think their perimeter blocking, a lot of those were really, really well blocked by Marvin Harrison and Fleming. I thought they did really well on the run block scheme, so I'll give them some credit there.
Cool. Get more than 30 yards in the air.
Which, by the way, like Tate, we're seeing glimpses of what we're going to see next year.
Yeah, he's getting more reps earlier, for sure.
All right, moving on to the defensive line here.
It's hard to give the defensive line a good grade when you give up What was the number?
232 yards.
Yeah. 5.4 per rush. Again, we have really high expectation for this defensive line. I don't know how I give them anything better than a D.
Yeah, I was thinking of a D plus as well too. So yeah, not what we're wanting to see from this defensive line here, but yeah, they got to do better.
They got to do better.
Linebackers, on the other hand, I thought linebackers played a lot better than the defensive line here. Eichenberg had himself another great game, double-digit tackles. Cody Simon played a lot in here, and he had himself a good game as well. So I thought the linebackers did all right, but they still contribute to all the rushing yards that Rutgers had in this game here. So I'll give them a little bit better grade than the defensive line, so I'll just say a C.
Mainly steals, some bad angles too. Cody Simon had 10 tackles. Eichenberg had 10 tackles. Are you saying steal had some whiffs, mainly steals, some bad angles too? Yeah, on the whiffs, yeah. Tommy stood some guys up. Yeah, I thought that Tommy had a fine game and Simon had a fine game. It's very weird that wherever you got that stat sheet from, Kyle, that they denote almost everyone's position, but only almost everyone's, and not Cody Simon's. It's just weird.
Yeah, it is.
What did you say? What was your linebacker grade?
C.
I think a C is fair.
All right. And the corners. I thought the corners played pretty well.
Yeah.
You're without Burke, and then you're without your two starting safeties as well. And so in comes Matthews. In comes Hancock. Got to see the ball. Got to see the field a lot more there. Hancock got himself a interception in this game. Ended up being a pick six. I thought the corners played pretty well. So I'll give the corners a B. I thought they played pretty well.
Yeah, it's hard for me to give them like a great grade only because the Rutgers quarterback just has severe accuracy issues. So it's hard for me to like super praise the corners. I will go slightly higher. I'll throw the plus in specifically for the touchdown. Yeah, I'll throw the plus in specifically for the touchdown, but we'll go B plus. Simon had tackles on special teams. That's the reason from no position. I think he played more than Chambers, or at least as much as Chambers. Also, we didn't kick off that many times.
No, Cody. Nope. All of Cody's Simon's tackles were on defense.
How do you figure that out that quickly?
I got the stats here, buddy.
Where do you have stats that specifically denote special teams versus how? Okay, I'm just going to believe you.
Defensive plays there.
God. Okay, Kyle. But still, though, you read that very quickly. I'm impressed, Kyle. I'll say I'm impressed.
All right, we're moving on to safeties. Safeties, I'm going to grade it a little bit lower. I mean,
really?
Yes, I am. Yeah, I thought that, especially in the second half, maybe it's wrong for me to give them a lower grade, but Proctor goes out, and Rutgers took advantage of that and really picked on Matthews a lot. And
Matthews is a corner.
Matthews was a corner. Yes.
You mean
I'm sorry, Hartford. Thank you, Hartford. Hartford comes in and they really picked on him there.
I thought Hartford played well. I mean, he's the fourth safety, and when I say fourth safety, I'm not counting what is essentially the nickel cornerback. I'm sorry, that's a nickel corner. But if we talk about strong safety and free safety, like we're down to I know he gave up like one pass, but I thought they went at him a lot because he was like the new guy in there. And I thought he held his own more often than not, to be honest with you. Proctor had a great game before he left.
I thought I'm giving a B-, just slightly lower than the corners.
And I thought Styles played well too. You said B-?
Yes.
I think you're wrong. I'll be honest. I'm going to give him an A.
That's fine.
Okay.
All right, and special teams. I got to give a.
I'm going F.
I'm going to D. Like.
Mirko. Like, what are you doing, buddy?
It's 2 weeks in a row.
Well,
2 weeks in a row.
Not specifically for running when he shouldn't have, which is what I was. But like, what are you doing? Why? That was a very inoperative. Like, I understand like why if you're Ryan Day, a lot of people like, well, why does he even have the freedom to make that choice? I'm sorry, if I have a fourth year punter who's a grown ass man, how old? Mirko is not a college kid. He's like 27 or something. I have Mirko, who's, like I said, an adult, fourth year punter. And yeah, I'm going to say, hey, if it's wide open and you can run, not only that, like he's an actual athlete, like he's an Australian football player, right? He's not like he is an actual athlete. Yeah, I'm going to tell him, hey, I trust you. You've been in the program for a long time. If you feel like you can get it, go ahead and go. I don't blame Day at all for putting that sort of trust in Mirko. I want to know what the hell Mirko saw, because like I have to assume that the instruction you're given is if it's wide open, go, not if you're bored, go. Because it obviously wasn't there, and it's not like oh, if he had just beat that one guy, it was wide open. Like he was totally penned in. But yeah.
All right, and that is our grades, Jared.
Those
ready to move on to the Buckeye Leaves here.
Buckeye Leaves. I already got mine filled out. Kyle, where do you got? Do you want to start? Should I start? How do you want to start?
Well, you're starting because you started ahead of me, so you got the right answer for the offense.
I mean, you don't have to pick a different one than me, right?
Well,
like
I am.
I am. Those aren't the rules.
Well, I am. So,
Travion Henderson, as Kyle already alluded, it was the right answer. So, I mean, it just was the right answer. So yeah, Travion Henderson gets my offensive Buckeye Leaf. Chat, who do you want for a Buckeye Leaf while Kyle tells us who he picked?
Yeah, even when the one dropped in the first half there, I'll give mine to G. Scott. I thought him coming in to get a lot of playing time with Stover being out. 3 catches. He had that really great touchdown catch there. I'll give mine to Mr. Scott Jr. there.
Chat, do you have an opinion? Oh, it wasn't scrolling. My apologies.
Spike says Trey.
Connor Stallions for resigning. Trey, everything Trey, extremely clutch. Yeah.
Defensively, I think both of our picks are from the critical play in the in the third quarter there.
Yeah.
Jared goes with Proctor, and I go with Hancock.
Yeah. And by the way, I thought Proctor, even up until that point, was having a great game. I hope he's okay. He leaves after that play. It's apparently not a concussion. It's what I assumed it was, because it was a big hit. It was a legal hit. I know when they threw a flag on the play, that I immediately thought, oh no, it's targeting. But when they showed the end zone camera, it was obviously not targeting, and then it turned out it was the quarterback going low on a blocker. So it was nothing. But
yeah, he said his head was ringing after that play, but felt fine to return to the sideline.
So he's now saying it was his head ringing?
Proctor met with the media after the game and said his head was ringing after the play, but that he felt fine after returning to the sideline.
Well, I'm getting mixed messages. Hopefully he's okay. Because if his head was quote unquote ringing, I don't know what you call that other than a concussion.
Mm-hmm.
But
hopefully it's nothing major. Yeah.
Take a week off. It's Michigan State. I think Ohio State's favored by 30. Michigan State's a bad football team. Take a week off. Get your head right. Our doctor isn't here, is he? No. Gangland is not currently in the chat. But I know, listen. I'm not a doctor, but I've had my fair share of concussions. If the patient tells you my head is ringing, that is grounds to take his helmet away. You are in the protocol. That's
yes.
I'm not a doctor, but wild card, Buckeye Leaf. Chat, let us know who you guys are going to give your wild card Buckeye Leaf to. I'm going Kyle McCord. And I know that's going to be controversial. I know a lot of people have turned on Kyle McCord at this point. I will once again point out that Ohio State has, for 3 weeks in a row, played really good pass defenses, and that the wide receivers and the offensive line are not doing McCord a ton of favors right now. The offensive line we knew was going to be a struggle this year, although, I will say this again, they are getting better. And they're not, we all sort of hoped for the 2014 rags to riches story of the offensive line. We had the rags. I don't think we're getting to riches, but they are getting better. But the wide receivers outside of the 2 touchdowns, even microfiber rags. Yeah, but the really good ones that have the silver in them, still rags, but they're good rags. There's some very soft towels. They're those terry cloths. But a good terry cloth. But they're getting better. My real issue right now are the wide receivers. You're supposed to be the best in the country, and you did not play like it last weekend. And quite frankly, outside of Marv, the wide receivers have not been overly impressive this season.
Yep. I'm going to go with Sonny Styles for mine. I'll go with Sonny Styles. Thought he had himself a pretty good game. He didn't have that forced fumble in there. Unfortunately, Ohio State couldn't recover that one. But yeah, I'll give mine to Sonny Styles.
Yeah. I thought Sonny Styles had a great game. With Ransom out and probably not expecting to see. I don't know. I don't know if we're going to see Ransom back this season or not, but what we know right now is that Sonny Styles can play that position, and he can play it very
yes,
well.
He can. Yes, he can.
You know, obviously the hope, the hope right now is that Josh Proctor comes back. I was going to say as soon as possible. If he wants to take the Michigan State game off, take the Michigan State game off. But Malik Hartford looked good. I think, like I said, I think Rutgers specifically tried to target him. And outside of maybe one play, he absolutely took that challenge. And I thought played really well. Knowles has confidence in Styles. I have confidence in Styles too. What? I don't count? He did. He was my wild card. There you go. Malik Hartford, your wild card, Spikes? If so, that's a good pick.
And the one question we have in the mailbag here is just making sure it is Buckeye Zach. I want to make sure because our Discord folks here keep changing names, so I want to make sure I'm getting the right name here. So Zach here
they're
says,
not just changing names. Like, we're practically turning into a role play server with everyone changing their names to specific people.
He says here, this team needs to get tougher offensively. Do you agree?
Tougher offensively?
Yes.
I
really think the biggest thing it's just efficiently. Like the team goes in spurts. Yes, the team goes in spurts where they look good. It's like, hey, we got some momentum. This is what we should be doing. And then whether it's penalties or drop passes, poor blocking, it just sputters then, like just not consistent enough.
Yeah. Efficiency and consistency are bigger concerns for me than toughness. Like, I do feel like they've developed a certain amount of toughness. Honestly, at this point, if we're going to talk about Ryan Day's favorite thing in the world, which is toughness, I'm more concerned about the defensive line than anything else. One of my big takeaways from this game, honestly, is what happens when we play Michigan and Michigan puts two tight ends, a fullback, and a running back on the field and decides to run straight at us. Because if this Rutgers game's any indication, it's not going to go well for Ohio State.
Mm-hmm.
That's my big concern of the moment. That being said, Michigan are a bunch of cheaters. I've heard there's been reports, there's been rumors. Kyle, you know what?
A lot of rumors.
You know what might be fun? If Harbaugh gets suspended before this episode comes out. Or at least before people listen to it. Because, like, even if it comes out Monday morning, then, you know, maybe they don't listen to it till Monday night or Tuesday. I'm just saying, like, listen, more worried about that. I just hope Ohio State has, like, because I don't care if Connor Stallions got fired. I hope Ohio State has like a brand new signaling system in place for the Michigan game. Because presumably they were already scouted and that information may have already been passed along. Stallions could still be doing all the bullshit he's been doing and then just emailing info to the team through some sort of, they probably all have a, what's the, a Telegram channel. They probably all have like a some sort of Telegram channel and they're just passing signal information back and forth. Like, is that a absolutely insane thing to think could be happening? Yes. Within the context of the insane shit we've heard about this story so far, is it though? At this point, exactly, Spikes. would you actually be shocked to find out that Stallions was still doing shit for Michigan behind the scenes?
No, the greatest things right now is the whole thing about pointing or having members of Ohio State hacking into Michigan's computers.
No. It's not. Well, first off, the accusation right now is that there's some sort of personal private investigation firm that's linked to Ryan Day or the Ryan Day crime family, and that is somehow the firm responsible for, I don't care. You know what? Let's just say it's all true. Let's say Ryan Day reached out to his brothers and the family friend who has I forget all the details. Let's say all of that's true. Good. If Ryan Day, let's just say, if it's all true, and I have no idea. Let's say Ryan Day hired his family friend and his brothers to bring down Michigan's cheating scandal, and he did it out of his own pocket. Give that man a lifetime contract. Yo, Woody once refused to buy gas in Michigan, and people haven't shut up about it for 50 years. Ryan Day hired a private investigation firm to take down Michigan. Not buying gas in the state of Michigan ain't got shit on that. Let's be real. What an amazing story. I hope it's true.
Yeah.
I hope it's true. Because if Michigan's defense at this point is we're going to tattle on Ohio State for tattling on us. Oh, glass houses, I suppose. And assume he still is. How dare we share the fact that they cheated? Exactly. It would be worse if he had the ability to do it and didn't try. That's what I'm saying. Ryan Day's got connections. Like, he actually does. I think one of his brother is or was a Fed or something. I don't know. I need to stop sharing shit that I read on Reddit, because I don't know how much of it's true and how much of it isn't true. But don't fuck with the Days. That's what I'm saying. The Ryan Day crime family is out to get you. I'm all for it. By the way, it's not ratting if it's not your people. That's just called counterintelligence. What an amazing chapter in the Ohio State-Michigan rivalry, if all of this is true. I want this all to be true. I want every single story about Connor Stallions to be true. I want every single story about Jim Harbaugh to be true. And I want every single story about Ryan Day to be true. I want all of it to be true. We have Connor Stallions, who is a former military guy who's at least advertises himself as some sort of expert code breaker. And Ryan Day allegedly reaches out to his brother, who's allegedly a Fed or something, or an ex-Fed, I don't know. And he hires his brother to run counterintelligence to the Michigan illegal intelligence gathering. This is amazing. Please let every single word of all of this be true.
We shall see.
I don't want to buy gas in Michigan because I don't want to give the state any money. Has shit on this. Is nothing compared to this.
I think we can.
Kyle, do you have anything in Kyle's corner?
I do, actually. I do. This was a great weekend. This was a great weekend. I'll give a shout out to my alma mater, Columbus Grove High School. It was a great weekend here. They won their second round playoffs in football. great. The cross country team won their very first state championship in Division III. Nice. First time that they've done it
Have you said your high school
history.
Yet? Did you actually say who they are? Or did I just miss that? Oh, okay, my bad.
You missed that.
I just didn't hear it.
And yeah, and then the band gets another superior. Just seems like that they do that quite frequently too. So it was a great weekend overall for Columbus Grove. So yeah, very, very, very proud alumni over here this weekend.
Hell yeah. Spikes also says CJ fucking Stroud. But maybe,
CJ Stroud.
Maybe Kyle will save that maybe that's a sneak preview to the
Yep. We'll save that for the next one. We'll save that for the next one.
All right, that's it. That's the end of the show. Tonight's ending music is a Columbus band called the Wet Darlings. That is the Wet Darlings. So with all that being said, I'd like to encourage everyone to drink local beer, listen to local music, and of course, support local podcasters. Once again, these are the Wet Darlings.